I'm back, and this is video 83 in my vanilla series, and in this video I'm going to continue to show you guys how to train up some Shendao cultivators. In the last video I showed you guys how to get through and unlock the first 3 mental state breakthroughs and all of the tips involved with that. So we got through the mood breakthrough, the calm breakthrough, and now we're on the still breakthrough, which is the best mental state range that you will want to be in as a Shendao, just because the inclination is super high because it's based on 100 divided by your distress. So if the Shendao has low distress, then they will be gaining mental state at a very rapid pace. And even when they have high distress, the mental state gain is still really big compared to the other mental state stages. So now that we're in the still breakthrough, which is pretty much the golden era, the next thing that I need to do is unlock the ability to go into the sagely breakthrough, or the sagely mental state, which is the 300 to 400 range. So to do this, you need to create a divine realm, and to create the divine realm is basically the golden core breakthrough for a Shendao, and there are certain stats that you need to have in order to get through that breakthrough and have the highest possible outcome for the divine realm. So to do that, you need to have firstly 1,000 followers, and this is the main thing that people who are playing Shendao disciples have trouble with, because the easiest way to get 1,000 followers is to just visit an agency that has a disaster happening, and it doesn't have to be an agency that you own or occupy, but as long as it's these areas right here and they have disasters and you send your Shendao out to help out with that disaster, then that will pretty much cap out your followers. And then the alternative way to gain followers would be to travel to City of Abundance, just because that's the closest one, but really any of the agency cities will work. And then you can choose an option that will allow you to help others, and that will give you around 33 followers per trip. So that means that you will have to do that for around 30 trips, which is kind of annoying, but it's the more consistent way, and that's the way that I'll be using for my Shendao disciples on this run, just because I have 6 and I can't count on having 6 disasters. Otherwise that would take way longer than it would take for me to have these 6 guys do 30 trips. So besides that, the amount of followers that you get is based on your Shendao's cultivation level. So I do need to go and collect 5,000 inspiration for each of my Shendao. So I would say that even if you're early game and you're trying to make Shendao work, you would probably need to have at least 5 agencies, just so that you can utilize those agencies to get that belief, so that you can translate that to cultivation ESP quickly and get the Shendao to the next breakthrough level. So the first thing I need to do is make sure that my Shendao have talismans for adventure fly speed, and right now they just have the divine authority talisman equipped, and I did create those talismans in the last video, the departing shadow talisman and the spiritual traveling talisman. And besides that, my Shendao also have spirit contracts equipped. So you just want to max out their adventure fly speed and then have them start to do adventuring things. So let's see how this goes. There were some that may have been banned, so I'm just looking out to see how that went. So Shendao 1 was able to equip the departing shadow talisman, but not a spiritual traveling talisman, and it's a little confusing. This one has divine authority on. They don't need that. So it looks like the spiritual traveling talisman didn't get collected. So let's try that again. One item is missing. How is one item missing? It's because one is banned. So let's unban that. Wow, so many things happening. Okay. Let's try to equip the spiritual traveling talismans again. So now let's just check my Shendao. Shendao 1 has snake contract, departing shadow, spiritual traveling. Shendao 2, departing shadow, spiritual traveling. 3, it looks like they all are good and pretty much ready. 5, departing shadow, spiritual traveling. And 6 has spiritual traveling and they don't have the departing shadow equipped. So let's fix that. Okay, so this is banned as well. So let me unban that. So now Shendao 6 has the departing shadow and spiritual traveling as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is send my Shendao out to these different agencies just so that they can get enough belief to cultivate to the next level. So everyone just goes to one agency. I really wish that you can just like get a certain amount of inspiration from an agency, because I don't need all of it. I only need like 5,000, and then the next breakthrough would be 35,000. So I really only need 40,000 experience. And then seascape. As you can see, their adventure fly speed is pretty good because I have access to these tier 12 talismans and tier 12 spirit contracts. So it may look a little bit different if you're playing and you're more early into your game. So I'm just waiting for these guys to adventure. So one guy got something. I'll have everyone wait for each other. So as you can see, instead of getting belief, they get inspiration from these areas. Or instead of inspiration, they get belief. Sorry. Gotta believe. What was that area just now? Because that had a disaster, right? Yeah, the sudden disaster. So I can show you guys what it looks like to get followers from a disaster. Then I believe that is the correct one. So Shendao 1 right now, they have 0 followers. So I'm going to send them over here where we have a sudden disaster, and then have them help out with that. Just so you guys can see how you can get followers through disaster. And Shendao 1 is adventuring and everyone else is coming back. That's beautiful. You hurt yourself by having a spark of inspiration. So it looks like everyone besides Shendao 1 is back. All of my pandas are being hurt and things like that. As long as they're over here, I don't mind. Let's see. Okay, so when you have this disaster happen in one of the agencies on the map, then you can click this button right here, which is option 2 for a secret sudden disaster, and then you can help people. But this doesn't seem to be the disaster that you're looking for, because I'm looking for the disaster that shows up as an agency disaster where you can help people, but it's a different option from there's like 3 different options. So I don't think this is the disaster that I'm looking for. I think this is the other disaster, but let's just see how that goes. If I help people, yeah, so for this one I only got 4,760 belief and 85 divine resonance. So that's not the same as the agency disaster. So yeah, that's why I was a little bit skeptical about that, because if it was the agency disaster, then I would be able to change the policy to disaster relief. And what was that? That was Riverback City. So Riverbank Plains doesn't have that option, and Riverback City also doesn't have that option to do disaster relief. So it have to be like a real agency disaster, not that other one, because there's weirdly like 2 different events for disasters. So anyways, we're just gonna wait for Shendao 1 to come back and then move to do our breakthrough. Alright, now that all of my Shendaos are in the sect, we're going, and they all have over 5,000 belief. As you can see, they have 9 million, 6 million, 3 million. Then I can use the Celestial Meditation Miracle, which converts belief at a rate of 500 per second. So I'll be getting to this 5,000 cap in like 10 seconds end game. So very fast. So I'm going to have these guys meditate. And as you can see, everyone has reached the limit. So now I'm going to do this breakthrough. For the most part, Shendao breakthroughs seem to be 2 days long. So that's how long I'm expecting it to be. But the breakthrough for the Divine Realm is 3 days. But I can double check that. At least for the Nether Law, I know that they may vary, but I'm just not sure about the other ones. So that's also something that you have to consider, is that Shendao breakthroughs can take a fairly long time. So if I pull up my save, I go to settings, and then I go to practice, and then Gong God, which is Shendao. I'm using Nether, which is Gong 3. So then I can pull this up, and then as you can see, this cost time right here is basically the time for the breakthrough, and that's 1200, which is 2 days. And then this says 5,000, so this is definitely that breakthrough, which costs 5,000. And then if we go down here, this is the God City one, and this requires 3,500 ESP, so that's how I know that I needed 40,000 in total. And then I don't know if it has the time for this breakthrough here, but I do know that it's 3 days. But every other breakthrough after that is 2 days. So let me just try to search for 1800, since that's 3 days. Yeah, it's not listed in here. So let's see. I'm pretty much just getting through this breakthrough and ignoring everything else. And you know, this is Shendao, you just have to continue to wait. Group of savage men. Let's kill these guys really quick. And then besides that, for the Shendao breakthrough, you also need to have a pretty good room. So Shendaos, they don't like to have a super luxurious room. Like, they just like to have a really regular, slightly auspicious room in terms of what will make them have the least amount of movements. However, for their breakthrough room, they want it to pretty much be like a maximized room in terms of feng shui, attractiveness, and space and all of that. So I'm going to show you guys how to make that when I get done with this breakthrough, because I'm going to have my Shendao, you know, traveling to that city 30 times. Oh, one of my disciples fell the tribulation. And they were immortal, so they just poofed. Yeah, we're getting to that point. Pretty late game. But the good thing is, like, the Shendao stuff is pretty much like the pinnacle of like everything. I think once I have this displaying, like, I will pretty much have everything wrapped up into this series. Okay. So my guys all just got through their breakthroughs. So now they're at the next stage, and then I can just cultivate these guys to the bottleneck of the creation stage, which is where they would create their golden core or their divine realm. So this is going to take, what, 70 seconds? So as you can see right here, these are the values that are required for the Shendao's divine realm stage breakthrough, and is looking for the Shendao to have at least the maximum amount of followers, which is 1000, a high mental state. So the mental state will ideally be 300, so that's why the mental state bonus is good, and then the divinity bonus should be good as well. So I think that they need at least 50 divinity to maximize that value, and then the distress bonus, which would be their mood list. So when you do that breakthrough, you want to mind fast for 3 days, because the breakthrough is 3 days long, and you're frozen, so it's not like you can do the breakthrough and mind fast, so you can't use any tricks to lessen that. But anyways, now that my Shendao are at the next stage, which is the preaching stage, they will get more followers per adventure, and it will average to be about 33 per adventure. So I'm just going to send my Shendao out to the closest city, which is City of Abundance, and this takes 0.42 days to do one trip. So I want to do about 30 trips in total, so I want them to adventure for 15 times, because they will be doing 2 trips a day. So I'm going to send those guys out on an adventure, and then, you know, just let them do their thing. So now that that's done, I'm actually going to start to show you guys how to build the divine realm breakthrough room. So let's move forward with that. So earlier I created spirit stone flooring, because the room needs to have good flooring, because flooring is what's going to affect the attractiveness of the tiles on your map. So if you look at the bottom right of my screen, you can see that it says porous soil, and then under the words porous soil it says filthy. So that's the attractiveness of my flooring tiles. But if I go over here, it says Wonderland, so I have like 8 point whatever bonus. Oops, I selected the wrong option. So you want to do, so for this, when you recruit them, you just want to go to city, and then you want to go to help others. So let's see if I can actually make that a sect rule, so I don't have to deal with 6 pop-ups twice a day. City, and then always help others. And as you can see, we're getting a good amount of divine resonance, a little bit over 30 every time. And so if I go to sect rules, and let's see, immortal luck, resource collection, no. Okay, city. Oh, I don't see it right here. Let's see. Recruit, kidnap commoners, preach. Maybe preach is that? I don't know. Let's go to sect messages. This will just determine the messages that I get, right? Enemy, common weather, manifesting mandate, deliver calculation. Okay, so it would definitely be something inside of the sect rules. So mortal instruction, mortal encounters, worldly dispute, immortal luck, resource collection, treasure gathering, strange tales, sect rules, colon. Okay, so these are the different sects. And then I have right here mod city. Ask for the sex instruction. So I wish that the help others option was here. And then for acquire materials, you can do cotton, mandates, cave. Nope. Seems like there's no option for this, so I'll just have to deal with this. But it's okay. So anyways, because of the requirements for the Shendao breakthrough room, I'll need to use the spirit wood offcut to make room for that. So let me first clear out this area. And I do want to run my game, even though I would be very annoyed by these pop-ups. So I'm just going to destroy the spirit wood tree. What is this right here? Oh, it's rock. It's a rock. So let's see. I'm going to open this. Just trying to clear out this area so I can make room for my Shendao breakthrough room. So for the Shendao breakthrough room, you just want to do like a lot of flooring, just to make sure that the area is pretty attractive. I'm just going to do like 20 times 20 or something like that. Let's do this big area right here. And then let me set my workers to builders. Wow. Did all of my outer disciples just die or something? That's my fault. Honestly, I just started to really neglect my outer disciples, so it's okay. As long as the outer one is here, then we can get things done. City, help others. So yeah, this is pretty tedious, but it just must be done. Okay, John Wrong, helping out, I see you. Outer one is definitely carrying though. Go, 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 go. City, help others. This is 2, 3, 1. There we go. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Yeah, so there may be some disciples that I need to do like 1 or 2 more trips for. Two, 3, 1. Alright, so now that the flooring is built, I'll kind of try to do my best to explain what they're looking for the Shendao breakthrough. But let's see. So for the Shendao breakthrough room, you just want it to be like a maxed out room. So it's kind of like the suppression room that you would use for the dragon. You would want the items in the room to have a really high tier on average. So ideally every item in the room would have like at least tier 8, or every tile will have like a tier 8 item on the room. And then the room also needs a light source, just because lighting is just a factor for the Shendao breakthrough. And then you also need to have perfect crampedness, meaning that the room is between 42% full and 47% full. And then you also need the room to be very auspicious. So the good thing about having a mini universe is that the mini universe is an item that has a really high attractiveness, and that's the value that you're looking for in terms of like the room. You want it to have a high attractiveness, and the mini universe is, I believe, 56 tiles. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 8 by 7, so that makes it 56 tiles. And then besides that, you need a light source. Let me start that over. The mini universe is 56 tiles big, and then besides that, you also need a light source, and you need a feng shui building to give the room feng shui. So that's 56, and then the light source would make it 57, and then the feng shui building would make it 58. So you're working with 58 tiles if you're using the mini universe, which I would recommend. But you can really make any room of any size, and then just try to figure out like what items that have high attractiveness can you put inside of the room. So I'm just going to use the mini universe, and because I'm using the mini universe, I know that I want my room to be size 122 because I'm occupying 58 tiles. So I figured this out off screen, but I basically know that the items that I want to use is the mini universe, just because it's easy to use that because of it has high attractiveness. So if we do 122 times 0.40, no, actually let's see, 122 times point, I think it's 47, 2% or 47% divided by, sorry, 122 times 0.42. So we have 52, and then I think the highest limit is 47. So let's do times 0.47. So we have 57.3. So you will want to have a 122 room to be able to fit between what was the number that I just had? You want to occupy like 51 to 57 tiles basically to retain the maximum bonus from having your crampedness like not too high. So I do have a blueprint for that, I believe. Let's see. Actually, it doesn't seem like I'd have it, or at least I can't find it right now. So I'm just going to go and make it. Alright, so 122 tiles should be, let's see, yeah. Actually, I'm thinking, is it 122 or, yeah, it should be 122. So let's see. I'm thinking about like how do I want the room. Maybe it should be 132 actually. Yeah, at this point I'll just make it. So I'm going to start off by making a room that's 11 by, or 12 by 13. And then I'm going to just, adjust it to just make sure that I'm within the range, basically. But you definitely need the room to have a crampedness of 42.5% to 47.5%. So this room right here is 120, right? And let's see. Let's see if I can figure. I need to look at my notes. Alright, so let me pull up my Excel sheet because I definitely used an Excel sheet to figure this one out. No, it's not here. Okay, so these are all of the factors that you would use for the mini universe. And the one that I'm mainly focused on is the room crampedness. So if I go to the Divine Realm Breakthrough, then I search up crampedness. On Divine Realm page right here. So I'm really worried about this right here, the open space. Oh. So let's see. We're looking at the maximum tiles. So it says Shendao breakthrough rooms need approximately 45% of the tiles occupied for maximum layout bonus. So if I want to figure out, if I know that I have 58 items in the room and I want that to be 45%, then I would do what, 1 divided by 0.45, and that's 2.2. So then I have 58 tiles, so I'm going to do 58 multiplied by the ratio of 1 divided by 45%. So let's figure this out. So I want 128 tiles, not 122 tiles. So let me increase these tiles by 8 more. So I'm just going to go, I guess, over here or somewhere like that. So I'm just going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to knock down these walls as well, which will effectively add 8 tiles to my room. And hopefully that will make it so that my mini universe is proper. So right now this is, or my room is proper. So now that's 128, and luckily the mini universe is 7 by 8, so this just fits in perfectly. Help others. Then I'm going to also place these walls down right here and just have this guy move the mini universe over there. And then once that gets changed, we'll be able to actually just go to the Shendao and see what it is. But you want it to be, I guess 45% is a good number. It's really 42 to 47%, but 45 is just easier to remember. So you just multiply by 2.2. So right now the mini universe is 56 tiles, so the crampedness is just normal, and it doesn't have a feng shui rating right now because there's no feng shui building. So as explained in the wiki, the best way to do that is to use a wooden dummy, and you want to make that out of dark steel, right? And you want to put it in this corner because you want to add items that will bolster up the feng shui of the dummy, but you don't want to add the amount of items to the room. So the best thing to do is actually have some vases on the outside of here, and that's why you put it on the corner, so you can have vases on the outside and they will affect the dummy. So if I just go to here, and then I have some jade vases, then I would just put them on the outskirts, and they have enough elemental emit to actually affect this dummy even though they're on the outside of the room, so that they're not harming the room's feng shui. And then besides that, I would have you can have oh, you can just have any light source for the room, but you just want it to be a good quality one. So you can just make like a little lantern right here out of spirit stone. Just make sure it's a high quality material. And plus you don't want that to affect the element too much. So let's see. So the feng shui of this room isn't updated right now because the game just doesn't update feng shui quickly without you reloading. So I'm going to reload my game and see the changes in feng shui just to make sure that wooden dummy is now very auspicious. And since that wooden dummy is the only feng shui item in the room, the feng shui of the room is just going to be based off of the feng shui of the wooden dummy. So now everything's pretty much loading up again. I'm going to let the game run for a little bit more. And you know, this says slightly auspicious, but if I look at the feng shui wheel, this is heavy on the earth element. So I'm sure it will switch to very auspicious in a little bit. Because it's a dark steel item and it's surrounded by earth element. So as you can see, it's very auspicious. Now in this room is very auspicious. And the room is refined because the quality level of the furniture and the furniture is just the mini universe, which is super high quality. And then the room layout is normal, which is exactly what you want. You don't want it to be cramped or too spacious or bare boned. You just want it to be normal. And then this is the overall attractiveness, which is also based on the mini universe. So once one of these disciples actually comes to the sect for like a quick second, I'll use them to check to make sure that all of those values are maxed out. So it looks like Shendao 4 is the one that's coming back. So if I click this breakthrough and then I go over here, as you can see, everything is pretty much maxed out besides the luxuriousness and the follower bonus. So I think I pretty much have almost everything figured out, but I just need to fix that luxuriousness, I guess. So yeah, I believe I did have that problem earlier as well, so I'll just see how I can fix that really quickly. Let's see. However, the modifiers when it comes to doing the Shendao breakthrough are really strong to the point where you can even do a Shendao, you can do a divine realm breakthrough with only 200 mental state, even though mental state is a factor, but there's so many factors and they are pretty much uncapped. So I think even with that luxuriousness, I should be able to get the maximum bonus. So let's see. I'm looking through my notes to see if I was able to, if I need to change that luxuriousness. No, I don't think I need to. Let's see. Yeah, I think that luxuriousness bonus should be fine because it's at 4 stars out of 5 stars, and then I have my mental state, which is at 300, which is at the cap, and then every other bonus is maxed out, so I should be good on that. But let me also see how many followers my Shendao disciples have. Okay, Shendao 2 is back. So I have every bonus except for the luxuriousness and the distress, which is okay. And this guy right here has 230 followers, so they're about 1/4 the way there. So we're at 196, 214. So we just have to just keep on going and do some more trips, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much how you would build the Shendao breakthrough room. And then besides that, if you go online on a wiki, there are so many different setups for the Shendao breakthrough room, but I just like this setup personally because I know that throughout the gameplay I will pretty much always have a mini universe. So that's just a way that I can repurpose that instead of just having like an extra room for my Shendao. And then I don't really always like having to rely on blueprints when I can just, you know, kind of try to remember how it works and then create my own. And it's really simple to just, you know, build a room around the mini universe. But if you do not have the mini universe, then you can just follow the guide to the guys that are online that just have many different Shendao breakthrough room setups, or you can just use this setup as like a proof of concept of basically you just have a room, you put high quality items inside of them, you make sure that it has pretty good lighting in at least one of the spots, and you have very auspicious feng shui. It doesn't have to be set up like this, but yeah, you would just increase the feng shui of the room, and then the only difference between using the mini universe room and like any other room for feng shui is that this one also needs to have items of high attractiveness and just make sure it has like flooring and everything as well. I'm just trying to kill these guys just because they're everywhere. So yeah, this is gonna take 15 days. Alright, so there's not much that I can do in between these 15 days, so I think I'm gonna go off screen and actually just do a fast forward and then start the next video once those 15 days are up. But yeah, pretty much I explained to you guys how you can get extra followers. Sadly, I didn't get an actual disaster, but trust me, if you get an actual disaster and you're able to do the help others options, then your Shendao will definitely get 1,000 followers and a lot of belief. And then besides that, you also need to have your Shendaos be able to collect 5,000 belief so that they can get to the next breakthrough stage, which will allow them to accumulate more followers per trip. And then you would have your Shendaos do around 30 trips to City Abundance, which is the closest agency with a contract ready, so that they can get their follower count up and be ready for this Shendao room breakthrough. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that you need to do in order to establish the divine realm. And then in the next video, I'll show you guys how to, and then once we have the divine realm made, then we can actually move forward with going through the other mental state breakthroughs, and then I'll show you guys how to do that, and then how to continue to cultivate and things like that. So yeah, I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video when I'm ready to do my divine realm breakthrough for my Shendaos. Later.